All right, let's start. It says the Empire State Building is 1,250 feet tall. If an object is thrown upward from the top of the building at an initial velocity of 38 feet per second, its height s in seconds after it is thrown is given by the function h of s equals negative 16s squared plus 38s plus 1250. How long will it take for the ball to hit the ground? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and make a picture so that I can see what's happening. This is the Empire State Building. You have a person over there, and that person is throwing an object, and that object is going up, and then it's going all the way down. Okay? The second thing that you need to define is what is your x and what is your y. Okay? So what is my x? Time, and it would be seconds. Time in seconds, and what would be my y? That would be height, and that would be in feet. All right? Second thing is I'm going to go ahead and write my function. H of s equals negative 16s squared plus 38s plus 1250. And now after I have my function, I'm going to go to my equation. And I'm going to see what they're asking me. How long? So, how long will it take for the ball to hit the ground? So what is it asking me? For the time. So it's asking me for what is x when y equals what? 0, because the ground would be a height of 0 feet. Thank you very much. Yes. We're better than yesterday. Yay. Alright, so it's okay. First day is always rocky, isn't it? While we're learning. And then you stop talking to me and Miss Marine gets exasperated. Because you stop talking to me because you don't want to make mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes. Yes, Brian? You don't like Mondays? Me neither. Alright, so let's do this. So if I'm looking for the zeros of the function, right? Or not when the y equals 0, right? Actually. What will be your first strategy? I would definitely go to y equal to and see if I can find it there, right? Then if I cannot find it there, then I will definitely have to either factor or use the quadratic formula, right? Alright, so let's go ahead to clear your calculator. That's the first thing you need to do. Most definitely change to window. Very good. So negative 16x squared plus 38x plus 1250. What do I need to change my y max to? I'm just going to change my y maximum. What's your y-intercept? 1250. Yeah, there you go. That sounds about right. If you want to do all of them, you can. Sometimes it's just a lot easier not to even think about it and just change all of them. And then I'll graph. I cannot see it. So maybe it's too big? What, did you just change your max at the y? Alright, so see, sometimes changing all of them doesn't work. Alrighty? So I'm going to go back to my window, I'm sorry. And I am only changing, actually I could put this in 0. There it is. We got it? Alright, now, so what is this right here? Now, the maximum will be somewhere over here. How can you calculate the maximum? How can you the what? The axis of symmetry. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ernesto. The axis of symmetry would be your maximum. Very good. So, which part of the parabola am I really looking at? Am I looking at the whole parabola? Or I'm just looking at over here where somebody threw the object, right, and then went all the way down, right? Not when it was here. So I'm looking at this side of the parabola, correct? Yes? You with me? Alright, so I'm going to go to the table. Alright, so when my y equals 0. So it jumps from 30 to negative 268. But what would the table tell me? That's between what? I can't hear. Between 10 and 11. All right. So whatever I do, right, to find what would be the time when y equals 0, when my height equals 0, when it hits the ground, it's definitely a decimal, correct? And it's between 10 and 11. So we'll factor in do in here. Probably not. All right. First of all, who wants to factor that? Even if you take GCF, that number is still really big, right? I would just go ahead and use quadratic formula. All right. So let's go ahead and use the quadratic formula. The quadratic formula tells me that minus b plus minus b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. All right. A is my quadratic term. What is it? Negative 16. B is my linear term. And then C is my y-intercept. 1250. That doesn't look like a C. All right, so let's go ahead and plug in. Or substitute, I should say. All right, so minus 38 plus minus 38 squared minus 4 times A, which is negative 16, times C, which is 1250. All of that divided by 2 times negative 16. All right, and then after that, the calculator takes over, right? All right, so I should get one that's positive and the other one that's negative. Are we going to use the negative one? No, so you can go ahead and trash it. We're not going to use the negative one, right? We're not looking back in time because x is time. So you do the plus first. If that gives you a negative, go ahead and do the minus because then that will give you the positive, correct? If you did the plus, what did you get? 7.7, is that okay? Can I just leave it at that? All right, we're not using that one, right? And then if you did the other one, it got you 10.09? 10.1 when you round it? So is it safe to say that it's about 10 seconds? There you go. Are we good? If we just get good at what it's asking me, then we should be okay over here. Okay? I told you the test is a big chunk in quadratics, so we got to be able to answer these questions like this. That's why we spend so much time in quadratics. Are we good? Can I go to number 2? Yes? All right, let's go to number 2. A juggler throws a ball into the air, releasing it 5 feet above the ground with an initial velocity. Did we do this yesterday? No. Okay. Not somebody that's juggling balls? Okay. I got you. I got you. All right. All right. So we got a juggler. All right. So what they do is they have a ball, right? And they throw it up in the air, and that's exactly what the ball does, right? It goes up, then it goes down, and it's a parabola, right? It's a quadratic. So my function would be h equals negative 16t squared, h of t, plus 15t. Yay? All right, so a juggler throws a ball into the air, releasing it 5 feet above the ground and with an initial velocity of 15 feet per second. She catches the ball with her other hand when the ball returns to 5 feet above the ground. All right? So if she throws it at 5 and catches it at 5, what's your starting point? It will be 0, right? Because that's her starting point. Yes, it's 5 feet because she's not doing it while she's laying on the floor, right? So that's why it's 5 feet. But because of the fact that she catches it throws it, releases it, and catches it at the same height, it kind of cancels out. Does that make sense? All right. So she catches the ball with the other hand when the ball returns to 5 feet above the ground. If the equation h of t equals negative 16t squared plus 15t gives the path of the ball from hand to hand, find how long will the ball be in the air. All right? So how long will the ball be in the air? So what is x? Time in seconds, right? And y would be height in feet. Very good. So is how long will it be in the air? So from here to here, correct? When she releases it and when she catches it. That's how long it will be. So what is it asking you to do? So what is it asking you to do? You're just restating the question. Find my what? Is it asking you for how long did it took for that ball to reach its maximum height? Okay, so you're just restating the question. What do you need to calculate to find out how long will that ball be in the air? I can't hear. It goes from here to here. So what are you calculating? Say it again. No, no. What does the axis of symmetry tell you? Okay, again, I'm going to ask again because we still do not understand what an axis of symmetry is. What does the axis of symmetry tell you? The maximum or minimum? I'm not asking you at what point was the ball at its highest point. No, I'm not asking you what is the highest height that the ball reached. I'm asking you how long was that ball in the air, which was from here to here. If you cannot see it when I'm drawing the x and the y coordinates, the axis, I'm sorry, I don't know what else to do to help you. Somebody said it. But then somebody said axis and I got really worried about that person. What are we calculating? The zeros of the function. Very good. You already know one of them. What's the first zero? 0. Thank you. Right? Because at what height is it? I guess you can say 5, but remember that it cancels each other out because you catch it at 5, you stopped at 5, right? Release it and catch it at the same height, it kind of cancels each other out. It's at 0. Yes or no? All right. So what I'm doing is this cannot be factored, right? The only thing that you can do is take a t out. That will be your GCF. But then I'm not sure how you're going to factor 16t squared plus 5t. So the only other option would be to do what? Right now, because you haven't learned the third option. Right now would be to do what? How do we solve it? Come on, talk to me. Thank you. Quadratic formula. What's my quadratic formula? Minus b plus minus square root of b squared AC divided by 2a. Alright, what's my quadratic term? Negative 16. What's my linear term? 15. And what's my y-intercept? 0. Very good. Alright, so let's plug in. Minus 15, or substitute, I should say substitute. 15 squared minus 4 times negative 16 times 0. Divided by 2. Now one of them is going to be negative, right? That's your y-intercept. One of them is going to be actually negative, not 0, right? But we're going to start at that point. Alright, so what are my zeros? This cancels out, right? Sometimes it's a lot easier to do it in your head than it is to go to the calculator and write all that down. Just so you know. Okay? Because this is 0, right? For every 2, how many come out? 1. So how many 15s come out of that square root? 1, because you got 2. And for every 2, 1 comes out. Or if you want to say 15 squared and then do the square root, you're doing the same thing twice. You're doing opposite inverse operations, so you're going to end up with what you started out with, which was 15. So this is negative 15 plus minus 15 divided by negative 32. Sometimes it's a lot easier to not use the calculator. I'm going to tell you that right now. So there's two of them. One when is positive, and the other one when is minus, right? Okay? So this is going to be 0 divided by negative 32, which is what? 0. Yay? Yes? And then what about this one? Alright, which is what? Oh my God. Point 94. Alright. So about how many seconds is that ball in the air? Alright. What's going on with this? Alright. Next one. Alright, a ball is thrown straight up with an initial velocity of 56 feet per second. The height h of the ball t seconds after it is thrown is given by the formula h of t equals 56t minus 16t squared. I'm sorry, you can't see it. What is the maximum height? What is the height of the ball after 1 second? And after how many seconds will it return to the ground? Alright, so it's asking me 3 different questions. Alright, so a ball is thrown straight up. So it goes up and then it comes down. So what is x? Time in seconds. And what is my y? My height. In feet. Okay? Alright. So it's asking me 3 different things. What's my function? H of t equals, I'm going to go ahead and write it in standard form. So negative 16t squared plus 56t. The first thing that is asking me is what is the maximum height? So that would be the what? Axis of symmetry. Very good. Because that is your highest point. Very good. So x equals what? Negative b divided by 2a. Alright, what's my quadratic term? Quadratic term? What's my linear term? And what? 56, not negative 56. And what is my y-intercept? 0. Very good. So I'm going to need this regardless of what I do, factoring or quadratic. because I'm going to need it for here, for my axis of symmetry. All right, so this would be negative 56 divided by 2 times negative 16. So that would be negative 56 over negative 32, which would be positive 7/4 seconds. Yes? All right. So is that the height? No, that's the time. That's at the time that it reached the maximum height. All right. So if I want to figure out the height, then what do I need to do? Substitute it in the function. Very good. Where t is, right? Because x is time. So this would be, for the height, it would be negative 16 7/4 squared plus 56 times 7/4. So what do we got? 49 feet. That is the maximum height. So this is the answer to the question. On Friday, you'll have this, and it will probably be BA. And then B, C, or D will be the right one, which is 49. Because I want to make sure that you finish the problem. I want to make sure that you understand that this is time, and I'm asking you for height. Correct? All right, so you're done with A. Let's go to B. B is real easy. B says, what is the height of the ball after 1 second? So what does that mean? So really, because Y is time? If X, so what does it mean? When X equals 1, what is Y? Where would you go? I will go straight to that table. Straight to that table. So X equals 1, Y equals 40 feet. Very good. All right, and then my last one would be, after how many seconds will it return to the ground? So right here, X marks the spot. I want that right there. After how many seconds will it return to the ground? So what do I need to do now? When Y equals 0, which would be what of the function? The zeros of the function, or the x-intercept. Every time it touches that x, that's your x-intercept, which would be the zeros of the function, the roots of the function. Very good. So you can try to factor. I'm not sure that it will. Usually it will, if it's something like this, it will probably have to be differences of squares to be able to factor real quick, right? If not, I will just go ahead and use quadratic. The window. I'm not sure what he meant by that, but he said the window. All right. So let's go to C. These are my A, my B, and my C, right? So minus 56 plus minus 56 squared minus 4 times negative 16 times 0. That's all 0, right? That cancels out. How many 56 come out? 1, right? And all of that is divided by 2 times negative 16. So you get x equals negative 56 plus minus 56 divided by negative 32, right? When you do the plus, is 0, right? negative 56 plus 56 divided by negative 32. That would be x equals 0. Yay? And then when you do the minus, there's your positive time. Because the negative minus negative 56 minus 56, you can add them, right? And that will be negative. But when you divide it by negative 32, that will be a positive. And that's what I want. I want that positive time. So what is that equal to? 3.5. There you go. See, so some of you are already seeing the patterns or already have enough number sense to know that it's going to be the minus, not the plus, right? In most cases. Especially when that number is negative, right? When that b is negative. So how long will it be before it hit the ground? 3.5 seconds. So again, if it's asking you for the zeros and you're looking for the axis of symmetry, it's wrong. You're not looking for the right stuff, right? So you gotta be careful, because all of those numbers will be options, okay? The 49, the 40, the 7/4, the 3.5, they're all gonna be options on that ABCD. Are we good? All right, number 4. Alright, so a ball is thrown upwards from the ground. Its height, h in feet, is given by the function h of t equals negative 16 t squared plus 64t plus 3. What is x? Time in seconds. And what is y? Height in feet. If you guys don't know what is x and what is y, this is what I would do. I would actually draw a picture of somebody throwing the ball upwards and then going down, and then I would do my y and my x axis, right? So that I can figure out which one is which, right? And then if I go on y, what am I measuring? Well, how high that ball goes, right? And then I can say, oh, well, this is height. Which means the other one has to be what? Time, right? Does that make sense? Sometimes when I can't figure it out, I always draw the picture, I do the x and I do the y, and then I look at my picture. And then I said, oh, it's height, because look, that's the ball. That's the ball, right? I just threw a ball. So that's the ball. So that's height. Does that make sense? This is how I help myself figuring out which one is x and which one is y. Okay? When I'm stuck and I just don't even know what to do. Draw a picture, draw the x and the y, and then figure it out. Okay? Because it's really easy. Once you have that x, and wasn't that easy to see? Oh, that's the height, because that's how high that ball is going. At least I think it's easy. If you don't see it, it's okay. Then we can find another way to show it to you. Are we good with that? Good strategy to kind of figure out what is x and what is y? Alright, so what is the maximum height? There you go. But you're looking for the height, not the time, right? So I'm going to highlight that it's the maximum height. So I'm ultimately looking for what y is at that top time, right? Which is the axis of symmetry. So x equals negative b divided by 2a. Alright, what's my quadratic term? And negative 16. What's my linear term? 64. And I know that my c is 3, but I don't really need it, right? I don't need it because I'm not asking you how long was that ball in the air, right? I'm not asking you, or how long before it hit the ground. I'm not asking any of that. Alright, so this would be negative 64 divided by 2 times negative 32. Oh, this is easy. 2 seconds. Very good. Guess what? On Friday, that will be an option, right? You haven't finished, because I'm not asking you for the time. I'm asking you for the height. So you need to come over here and plug in that too, right? Or just go to y There you go. Go to the table. See, they're saying go to the table, whatever you prefer. I like plugging in, but if you want to go to the table, you go right ahead and you go to the table. All right? So, again, you can do this, or you can come over here, go to y equal to, write that down, and then go straight to that table and look for 2, right? 2 seconds. Yay? Was that 67 for everybody? This way or that way, you should have gotten the same. Yes or no? 67 feet. Are we good? All right, number 5 as a group. Go. 5 as a group. Talk to each other, please.